tap-ins. Ms. Dickerson?
There are no issues from this request from the chief of police or from the zoning department.
Any questions on that one? And another alcohol license for Whole Real Estate. Ms. Dickerson?
There are no issues with this request from the chief of police or from the zoning department.
Any questions on that one? Item 6, adopting a certificate of election. Actually takes 6 and 7 together. Certificates of election, Ms. Dickerson.
Yes, this one and the next one, Casey Middlebrooks and Steve McClinton did not have opposition at the final date for qualifying, so this is just certifying the election for both of them.
Very good. Any questions on those?
Do those need to be put on the regular agenda, or do we need to abstain from that?
I mean, you can abstain. I can put them on the regular agenda, but you can also vote, so. Because it's of the majority. I mean, it was a qualification nobody ran against.
We can
y'all.
move those to the regular.
Okay, I'll move those to the regular.
Item 7, the XO is hopefully here. Is he here? There he is.
No.
I think you have item 8, a resolution for a budget amendment. You and Ms. Cornett want to take that one?
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is a budget amendment to accept a reimbursement from the Secret Service for some software that police already bought. And so we would like to have a budget amendment to allow them to spend the money. So they used part of their normal operating budget to buy this software, got reimbursed, and now would like to use their normal budget to spend on other things. Did I do that
Any
right?
questions for that item, to accept the money from the U.S. Secret Service?
Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, that's a software that we purchase every year, and some years the Secret Service will reimburse us, sometimes they don't. This year they did, so we're trying to put it back since we fronted the money back into our operating expenses.
All right, any other questions, comments? Very well. Item 9 is a resolution amending the budget for sidewalk money movement.
That's right. We have a completed sidewalk project that can fund this, but I think, do you want to talk about the project that needs the funding?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are looking to transfer money from the completed Alcere Road sidewalk project to the Old Columbiana Road sidewalk project that we're working on for some retaining wall and curb and gutter work.
Any questions for Mr. Merlin on that item? Very good. Thank you,
Thank
sir. And Mr. Miller is coming forward for item 10, budget amendment for Hoover Met improvements.
Good evening. Yes, so this is for the Hoover Met. As we got our last 2 pay apps, pay app 10 and pay app 11, we discovered we were a little bit short on the budgeted items on that one. So we're asking for $145,000, and that will get us to the very end of the project. We have enough in the retainage. The retainage will be the only other bill that we'll receive. So this gets us completely across the finish line for this phase.
Any comments or questions for that item?
I will say that this happened in a change order that was approved by Parks Board, recommended and approved by the Parks Board, as well as requested by the SEC. So this includes the lower left field entrance. It was modified, a new gate was put in, some additional pavement was put in there. So that was a definite benefit to the project. The other piece was stubbing out some utilities from the third base club for future expansion.
It represents just over a 1%, I guess, overage, right? So it's
1.4%.
pretty doggone close on our number.
We were close.
Very good. Any questions on that?
The funding source for that budget amendment is requested to come from the bond funds that were released after we moved the PAC funding over to capital projects.
Any comments on that item? And item 11 is the resolution amending the budget for Alabama Department of Revenue build-out.
That's right. So we are getting very close to having an agreement with Alabama Department of Revenue. We wanted to have it for you ready on Monday night, but we received a draft and had some comments. So that has gone back to Alabama Department of Revenue. So just to let you know the status of where that is, we're close. We're very close. I anticipate having an agreement in front of you for the July 28th meeting. we had to, as part of our agreement with the Department of Revenue, we needed to build out the space that they're going to use on the fourth floor. So the proposal that you have in front of you is to take some of the money that was already budgeted for the 3021 building remodel. So it was already approved for that funding source to take, what was it, $94,000 from that fund to go towards the Riverwalk piece. So ultimately, it's roughly a $255,000 piece, but we'll be refunded $161,000 and some change from Department of Revenue for their share. They could not pay the vendor directly. They needed to pay us. So we will front the money and then get reimbursed for the $161,000.
These costs, tell me if you agree, are essentially the leasehold improvements necessary to be able to occupy, to build out the space on the fourth floor of Riverwalk Building, and have it suitable for use for Alabama Department of Revenue.
So just to clear up any confusion, any other development that would come through the Riverwalk, we would not be required to build out that space. That would be on whoever would be occupying that space. That would not be us.
Very good. Any questions on that item?
Just to clarify, we do not have a signed lease yet.
That is correct. We are close.
You mean with the Alabama Department of Revenue, right? We do not have the revised lease yet.
Any other comments? Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Chief Bentley is here for the next couple of items, beginning with 12, authorizing an MOU with the Center of Public Safety Excellence.
Thank you, Mr. President, Council. Yes, this resolution is to enter into an agreement with the Center for Public Safety Excellence for the next cycle of accreditation. If you remember in '21, we were the first fire department in the state of Alabama to become internationally accredited. And so we've gone through our 5-year cycle, and now it's time to be regraded. We'll do that over the next 14 to 16 months. And there's no other financial obligation other than the money that we would request in the 26 fiscal year budget. Just a typical MOU that we've done before with SIPSI.
Questions for the chief on that item? Also, Chief Bentley, you have 13, a resolution authorizing the fire department to apply for a FEMA staffing grant.
Yes, sir. So this resolution is to authorize and to allow us to apply for a grant through FEMA for SAFER, which is staffing for adequate fire and emergency services. If you remember, in 2022, we began an all transport service. And in order to put a fourth rescue unit in service, we took people off 4-person engines to staff a fourth unit. We need a 5th unit in service, and we've asked for that and haven't been able to be successful over the past few years with personnel. And so we're asking to write this grant for 7 personnel for a rescue unit. If we write the grant and get the grant, allow us to execute it. And what it means financially to the city is that if we're awarded the grant, the city pays for 25% of personnel costs and benefits the first year and second year. The third year, the city would pay for 65% of benefits and salaries and benefits. And then on the fourth year, we cover everything. There is no guarantee that we would get the grant. Unfortunately, these grants come about in the middle of a calendar year, and they don't come about at the beginning of a fiscal year. And so, you know, it's kind of a gamble if we get it or if we don't. We will have additional personnel requests in fiscal year 26 budget, but this is a way to see if we can't some way get some personnel for a rescue unit.
Any questions on that item? Thank you, sir. Mr. Grimes, you have item 14, to authorize the execution of a service agreement with the Miss Hoover Foundation.
Good evening. So this is a great opportunity for us to extend a new service agreement with the Miss Hoover Foundation. Before I forget, the upcoming pageant or competition is next Thursday, so we're a week away from the upcoming Miss Hoover. But we have great success with now back-to-back Miss Hoovers becoming Miss Alabama, and then obviously Abby Stockard becoming Miss America. So Emma Terry recently won as Miss Hoover, won Miss Alabama, and will be competing. And so this will provide the Miss Hoover Foundation the opportunity to go and help promote, will buy ad, and be supportive of Miss Emma Terry as she competes for Miss America. So this will give them the money necessary due to her success in winning Miss Alabama. And then I think we'll have the budget, the normal budget process will include for the Miss Hoover funds necessary to keep that pageant going. So any questions on that?
Anything from Mr. Grimes?
It's great to have back-to-back. I don't know of very many communities in learning about the I don't want to call it beauty pageants, but that's great success, yes, competitions. And I do want to thank, she could not be here tonight, but Miss Julie Bentley is our director. She's done a great job, and this is a wonderful opportunity. So, and also, I know we have the private fundraisers coming up, so thank you for doing that for Emma's family. I think that's great.
Anything else? Very good, thank you, sir. All right, we move to our regular agenda. Ms. Cornett, I wonder where you went. You were hiding back there. Item 15, approving a purchase policy and procedures manual.
Yes, this is the final and revised version of the draft that was given to council for review back in April. A new and improved purchasing policy and procedures document. Just to give a little flavor of what we had before, I think we had 12 pages that were not full pages of documentation of our processes, and we now have 26. It's a very robust policy, and the goal of this was not to create new processes that we aren't already doing, but to document the processes that we already have in place. And that was one of the shortcomings that was identified that we needed to beef up. So this policy does a great job of spelling out what are the responsibilities of the people who are doing the requisitions in the departments, what are we relying on them for in terms of proof and support for payments. What is the responsibility of the purchasing department in the way that we look at that backup and determine whether it's in the right account and the appropriate amounts and whether we're following the law. And then also what is the higher level administrative responsibility at the city administrator level for making sure that all those policies and procedures are followed. So I'm really, really proud of the purchasing team who has worked for many hours to try to build out this policy. The goal is that should council decide to approve this, then we can move forward with having some individual meetings with departments to be able to go over these processes. So we have new employees all the time that are becoming involved in these processes. And so it gives us a good opportunity once we've got this document that memorializes what is supposed to happen. We can sit down and it can be a real helpful tool for people who are trying to figure out what needs to be done in following those rules to get those payments made. So I really, again, want to give a lot of credit to the purchasing team who has spent literally hours on this. And then in between the draft that you got back in April and then this finalized document, we did have a quality control process where we took that draft policy and let some power users work through the document and give us some feedback. And so those feedback items have been incorporated in this final version that you see here.
Any questions for Ms. Cornett on the policy change? Very good. And likewise, item 16 is another result of
Yes.
hard work by your department for a
That's
travel
right.
reimbursement policy.
While we were at it, we decided it was good to go ahead and take a look at the travel reimbursement policy. That one had not been refreshed since 2014. So again, more detail, more specific instructions about the kinds of things that can and cannot be reimbursed for employees who are traveling on city business. Gives a lot of guidance on what is permissible, what is not. Probably the biggest material change was the daily limit for meals, which had not been changed since 2014, was increased. So we have a cap for all 3 meals in total, $85 a day when traveling on city business, to include breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In large cities, I just came back from a trip to DC, that can be pretty challenging to get into that. We use that as an average for the daily reimbursable meal limitation for meals. The other point that I would like to note is this is not a per diem. So detailed receipts of what you're eating and what you're drinking, and of course, we don't allow alcoholic beverages to be reimbursed. Those kinds of things are required to be able to document those reimbursements. So just a better, more complete, more clear, more information kind of policy. So again, a lot of credit to the purchasing team who put that together.
Any questions on that item? Thank you, good work.
We do have one more policy that we're continuing to work on, the one related to grants administration. And so hopefully you won't have to listen to any more requests from me about new policies except for that one. So stay tuned.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 17 is accepting property to be used as a park in the Black Ridge and Lake Wilburn areas. Mr. Grimes, do you want to talk to us about this one?
I can speak to this, Council
Oh,
President Ryder. This basically accepts 3 warranty deeds for property in the Lake Wilburn area from Signature to be used as a park.
For the cost of zero?
Correct.
Excellent. Free land. Anyone want to ask about free park land? Have a comment?
Do we have any pictures or maps or anything?
I believe they'll be in your packet. It's actually, it's all the land that just runs along the river. There has already been one portion of it done, which was at the very top, and then this will actually round that all the way down.
John, that includes the canoe launch that was just opened,
Okay, very good.
for reference.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on that? Mr. Martin? It's weed and grass season, isn't it?
Certainly is. We have a number of new nuisances coming before you for Monday night, several declaring a weed or other vegetation nuisance. The first one is 425 Shades Avenue, which is a repeat customer of ours. Seen that a couple of years running. We also have 2045 Cross Crest Drive, 2413 Regent Circle, 2456 Blueberry Lane. So 4 new nuisances that we are going to be asking for nuisance declaration on. And per the usual, Monday night we'll have updated pictures, and hopefully 1 or 2 of these will drop off the list with self-abatement.
Very good. Any questions on any of those properties that he reviewed through item 25? Hopefully we'll have good weather for cutting grass this weekend.
I hope so. The next 4, we have nuisances that have already been declared such, and we are going through the authorization for abatement of those nuisances. 2125 Tyler Lane, 2152 Larchmont Circle, 2337 Tyler Road, and 2882 Wisteria Drive. We will also have updated images for council on Monday night on those as well.
Any questions on the abatements? And Mr. Martin, I believe you have 26. Commissioner's approval for a golf facility at Greystone.
Yes, this is a conditional use application coming before the council for the indoor golf facility at 2815 Greystone Commercial Boulevard in the 280 corridor. It is on PC Plan Commercial, and because of the indoor recreational nature of this facility, it is classified as a conditional use. The Planning Commission heard this item at their June meeting and makes a positive recommendation to the City Council contingent on a number of conditions. Those should be included within your packet and include that owners or representatives, 1, would be present on the site during 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at a minimum, and during any parties held on the site. Secondly, that all parties held on site would be limited to the hours of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and would only be scheduled by members. 3, use of the facility by non-members would be limited to hours when owners and/or their representatives are present. 4, no alcohol would be permitted on site. 5, owners shall ensure that the facility is cleaned on a regular basis and free of rubbish. 6, owners shall install a video monitoring system and have the facility under surveillance during all operating hours. 7, owners shall install a Knox box or other acceptable means of permitting emergency services to gain entry into the facility. 8, the facility should not host more persons than the occupancy load of the unit as determined by the fire marshal. 9, contact information for owners shall be on clear display at the facility for overnight emergency or urgent maintenance needs. And 10, the business shall obtain a certificate of occupancy and a business license prior to opening. The comprehensive plan does support commercial development in the vicinity, and the reason for a number of these conditions is based on the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week nature of the business. The overnight hours would not have any employees or owners present, and so there's a keyless entry to the facility. So just to ensure that the public safety is enhanced and that this is not detrimental to the neighbors, that helps explain why we had some of the conditions we did. The owner was agreeable to these conditions, and the Planning Commission makes the positive recommendation with them attached.
Any questions on that item for Mr. Martin? All right, Mr. Martin, we have some first readings, the first 2 being for abatements.
Yes, sir. 2 additional nuisances that have already been declared such that we are engaging for first readings for abatements. 1301 Daria Street, 3460 Sheila Drive, and would anticipate a second reading in 2 weeks' time.
And finally, we'll have a first reading on an ordinance to extend the city limits to 3721 South Shades Crest Road.
Yes, sir. Since the first time this was submitted for council consideration, staff had a chance to go through it and work with the property owner and developer and their team. And we feel we're at a point where this can move forward. There are still some other details that we would work out with the developer pertaining more specifically to the development of the property, but staff feels at this time that we can handle those matters when a planned unit development master plan application comes forward. So at least at this point in time, the annexation agreement as part of the annexation petition, we feel is in a good place.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Martin on that item? All right, we'll see everyone Monday night at 6 o'clock. Thank you.